Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Now, I think episode 12 with Yasaman, wonderful Yasaman, if you have not listened to our first guest episode, please go and do that right now. I think episode 12, though, was supposed to be episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah.
And we just got really carried away. So we could call this
Yeah.
episode 13. Or it could
Unlucky
be.
for some.
Unlucky.
Let's call it episode 13. Come on.
Okay, it's now episode 13, Unlucky for Some. Welcome everyone. How prepared are you for the episode today?
Okay, so just to sort of get into it, we said that we were going to talk about some songs that had been meaningful for us, and sort of have a conversation about why that is. I actually had my first weekend off in months, full weekend, and I went to. Oh my god, it was so needed. I actually nearly cried at one point. I went to the forest by myself and just sat by a tree, hugged a tree, read a bit, walked around and listened to lots of music and tried to be like, okay, what's hitting? What perhaps songs that you're relating to, have related to. And it was really interesting because a lot of these, I wouldn't say are my favourite songs at all, but they're songs that have been there in specific times and have had quite specific meanings for me over the years. How prepared are you?
No, well, that's the thing, like, because obviously you had that weekend and were like, hang on, I've got an amazing idea for an episode, obviously, because we were talking about certain songs that might be significant in that amazing episode we did with Yasman from Blackwood Castle. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it now. And I think obviously that got you thinking, as you've just said. But I found it really hard, I think, to focus on just 5. Because I also, when you say like a song that is significant to you, like I could probably do a whole episode with the like story or the lore around why it is that some of these songs are so particular. But so I've got a lot of them. I've got vibes to discuss, but I haven't got like was on this album, came out at this date. Like it's not very factual.
No, neither have I. And what I will say is I was quite mindful of the fact that I feel like the audience for the pod is way more skewed towards your lot than my lot. And I think in thinking
My
that,
lot.
I was like...
You make it sound like a gang. It's like Jets versus Sharks. Your lot and mine. What are you talking about?
No, I feel like it's way more the cult than it is like my customer.
What, listening to the podcast?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they say. But I think I found myself looking at some of the things I'm interested in and being like, I feel like if you start talking about noise projects with names like premature ejaculation, you might lose some people.
Okay, please tell me there is actually a noise project called premature.
Yeah, there is.
Oh my god. Amazing. I think there's a UK punk band called Piss Jeans, which is one of my favourites. No, well, it's our podcast. We've already decided we can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, I think I started because we spoke about this idea of like people voting on who they would pass the cable to at the party. And
Okay.
I think I started being like, okay, we're going to try and make this a bit more general. You're going to sort of present yourself as somebody that's multifaceted and it's not just going to be like really dark. And I started that way and then it gets quite pretentious. So, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. I also love this idea of like this idea of who would you allow to have the aux cable, meaning who is allowed to actually plug in and play songs, right? It's who's going to get to DJ. I'm going to win this hands down then. Because
you are, because I feel like mine is very bleak. And I don't think anyone would be having very much fun at my party.
Well, if you're coming straight in there with the noise project premature ejaculation, I don't know how I can't win. Look, I do want to say this though. In sitting down to kind of think about songs that are significant, you know, those kind of soundtrack songs for us, I felt that there were a few dishonorable mentions as well.
Mm.
Like things, people, artists that once upon a time would have absolutely been on this list for us and aren't today, and how really sad that is. And honestly, Kev was like, well, obviously Fleetwood Mac, obviously Stevie Nicks. And I'm so fucking disgusted with Stevie Nicks going to the Met Gala that there is no Stevie Nicks, there is no Fleetwood Mac in my significant songs today, because honestly, girl, when you haven't been invited up until this point.
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Really? This one? These guys? That was the
I didn't know
vibe?
she went, but that's very
I'm
disappointing.
sorry to be the bearer of incredibly bad news. Obviously, she looked incredible, but a witch would never.
Yeah.
Witches would never. Was
she
really...
Was she wearing a fringe pashmina?
I mean, groundbreaking.
I mean, I don't know, was she?
She was wearing a great big frilly skirt with the sort of like cinched waist, velvet jacket, top hat, moment. Anyway, stop talking about them. Stop talking
Why was
about
she
them.
there? Yeah, exactly.
Right, there we go. But I just, I thought it was significant because, of course, I've mentioned before when we were talking about me picking a track for the wedding, Nick Cave. Just don't play in Israel. It's really not that hard.
It's not really, is it? You got enough money.
Say something, stand for something. So yeah, I thought have you got any dishonourable mentions? Is there any for you that maybe would have been, really significant to us at one point, but maybe aren't as much now?
There wasn't anything that was coming up as I was doing it, because I feel like a lot of, we'll get into it, but a lot of them are quite recent ones, because I feel like I've had a lot of perhaps emotional growth over the past couple of years, so I feel like there's been things that have come to me in that time, but yeah, so nothing to think of right now, no.
Okay, well, let's just get into it then. I want to hear at 11:11. It is 11:11 for whatever episode we're on now. What's number one then? The first significant song you want to share with us today?
Okay, so this one will be a bit of a surprise, and again, I feel like this was when I was trying to be a little bit more, a little bit more sort of like palatable to the masses. But this is one where I think when you really love someone and they really love something, it does something for you.
Oh,
so
is
it's
it Florence? Is it Florence and the Machine?
Florence.
Oh, for
it's Florence
God's
and the Machine.
sake!
And do you know what it was? It was just because I'd obviously heard these songs non-stop at home, right? And it never really did much for me. But then we saw it live, and just seeing his face, just like we were like 3-4 meters away from her, right? And she did look just incredibly beautiful. She was so powerful, and the title track of Scream, Everybody Scream, that song is just so good. And I think it's sort of come to me recently, and I started sort of actually listening to it voluntarily, because I was sort of exploring this idea of creating a character. Obviously, I was talking about how I'm going to be doing drag at VGT, and that's what the song is about. It's about her, like coming to the stage as this character and letting everything go, and the way that she engages with her fans. And it is just such a phenomenal song, just about that. I mean, the line...
What's the song? What's it called?
It's Scream or Everybody Scream.
Okay.
The line, look at me run myself ragged, blood on the stage, but how can I leave you when you're screaming my name? Like that, live. And Robbie had transcended this dimension, was crying. It was phenomenal. And, like I say, she's not necessarily somebody that has spoken to me in my sort of like musical interests, but just seeing what it did for the person I love was so amazing. So yeah, Florence and the Machine. There you go.
Look, in terms of songs that are significant to us, it doesn't really get more significant than, like you said, seeing that person that you love, getting that lit up, and having that opportunity to enjoy that live. And also, you were talking about, is it the Witch Choir?
Oh my God, yeah. She brought on this group of dancers. They were called the Witch Choir, and they were wearing sort of very kind of Blackwood Castle style dresses. One of them was a non-binary person, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it was giving like the witch trials, it was giving Coppola's Dracula, and just with the music, I was really honestly blown away.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm just looking at some of what I've got written down here and just chuckling to myself already because it's really,
Should we have one of yours?
because it's really stupid. I think I've got like 12 or more written down here, so I'll have to just decide what to focus on. I've even got the White Lotus theme music. Kev and I were having, basically this morning, Kev and I decided that, because we were like, well, what are we going to do doing kind of like a Desert Island Discs, like significant songs, when we can't use, I think we thought we could use 7 seconds of the song and we can't actually even use that. So we decided that maybe we'd get us to sing them.
No, I don't sing.
So already I was going to be like, so Tommy, what we need now is a couple of lines from Florence and the Machine.
I think what works is I'm not shrieking Florence and the Machine because you don't sing Florence, you shriek like a banshee. As I know from living with somebody who,
really gets into it. Didn't I message you when you were going to see her saying, is Robbie in fact wearing a Victorian nightgown though?
I mean, he is spiritually, yes.
Spiritually, it was,
and a flower crown.
You were obviously fitting right in because the entire crowd looked like haunted Victorian children. So
lots of sort of non-binary fairies wearing flower crowns. I mean, like gorgeous people in the audience. I was absolutely living for some of the looks.
Yeah, well, I thought the idea of us singing the songs would in fact be hilarious, but you would not necessarily be as into it. But that's where I think we got Aloha by Christabel Tapia de Villa.
Oh, that's...
This isn't a song that's significant to me at all. I just think it's iconic, and I also thought it meant we could talk about Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, I mean, she is just absolute. I think it's her most iconic role. I mean, These Gays Are Trying to Kill Me was just such a moment, given that she is somebody that is just such a queer icon. I mean, just, it's the lips, it's the little bow up here in the hair. It's like
the Shih Tzu high bow. Right?
The completely detached, very medicated energy. She's just incredible in that.
Utterly throwing herself at a horrendous man.
Yeah.
That, as it turns out, was plotting to kill her from the very beginning. So that's the journey I wanted to take us on with that one. But I can't claim that I even knew who did that song before we started looking at it this morning. So
yeah, but when you hear that the beginning of that song, you get those images.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna claim it. I'm through being cool. Shania Twain. Man, I feel like a woman.
I mean.
Short skirts, man's shirts.
Yeah.
The Let's Go girls. That literally you could kick a fucking door down.
Yeah, you could. It is an absolutely phenomenal song. It's a banger. It's a karaoke
and it's
song.
one of those ones where as soon as you get the dun 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 dun, dun you know exactly what you're in for. Everyone who is there for a good time is on their feet. Items of clothing are being sort of whirled around the head. I don't think it. I mean, again, not amazingly significant to me, except that I can remember kind of early school disco.
Yeah.
Experiencing music and feeling music and getting a bit of Shania Twain as a war cry. Even in the early 2000s, that was absent of any real feminism, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, she comes from the sort of country world, which is definitely
so Yasman would hate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if she would, because I mean, it is a pop song.
yeah, I think Shania Twain. What was the other one? That don't impress me.
Oh, that
so
was
you
phenomenal.
Think you're Brad Pitt?
The look. I mean, have you got the brains? You've got the brains, but have you got the touch? But I mean, the leopard print look with like the round leopard print bag and the leopard print flared bodysuit.
Yeah, just iconic.
Absolutely iconic.
And also, I think Shania Twain was like a little bit older, not old by any stretch. But for in pop, for bringing out kind of bangers at that time, was a very different energy to the other things that were around at the time, which was very much kind of Christina Aguilera kind of writhing around in a wrestling ring in chaps.
Another moment.
A moment. Yeah, absolutely. But, and Britney Spears and, do you remember when they all did Moulin Rouge? Who was that? It was Pink.
Yeah, that had Pink
Aguilera.
in it, though. That did have Pink in it.
We know how you feel about Pink. Go and listen to our Room 101 episode.
What, Pink, where the I is an explanation mark, yeah.
Yeah, an upside
dead edgy,
down exclamation mark, I think it is as well, isn't it? So, yeah, for me, just that early kind of, Shania Twain. Let's go, girls. That don't impress me much. Man, I feel like a woman. I guess... As feminist anthems go, and I'm going to take you somewhere a lot more significant in terms of that shortly, for me, in, like I said, those early experiences in music and pop music, that does stand out to me as significant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can definitely remember
and maybe that was the early days of my love for cowboy boots as well.
I just got some really cool cowboy style shoes from Vinted for VGT.
Are we going to talk about Vinted the way we need to talk about Vinted now? I've been trying.
Do you know what? I've been trying to stay away because Robbie's obsessed with it, and I was having a bit of a sort of wardrobe malfunction approaching VGT and was like, what am I going to do about shoes? Like, I cannot... The shoes that I would like to wear in drag are not necessarily the shoes I'm going to be able to wear in drag, especially being on my feet for such a long weekend. So, I went digging on Vinted and I found these incredible shoes. And I feel like now, unfortunately, I am hooked. And I'm quite worried about what that's going to look like financially.
Yeah, so I only recently have gotten into selling on Vinted to the point that I've actually bought my own label printer. And that's because I need to start making some money. Because of the amount that I've been spending on Vinted. Because for us, it's basically like thrifting from your living room.
Yeah, actually what Robbie does is he's kind of allowed to spend what he makes.
So
he'll sell a bunch of stuff because Robbie also changes his style quite a bit. And like, he'll be like, he had this period recently where he liked this one specific type of jeans. And then he had them in all different shades of like earth tones and stuff. And then he was like, I'm done with jeans completely. Now I want to wear like sweatpants. But it was a very specific type of sweatpants.
Hard
like,
relate.
Sat on the leg a very specific type of way. So then he just had to sell all of those jeans. But then in order to buy all of those sweatpants that he wanted. So that's
what I've started
buys
doing,
what he can sell.
Is this idea of you are able to have a balance in Vinted that you can then spend. So I've just been digging stuff out and giving it a new life. And I love that kind of sustainability culture anyway. So, but it is lethal to still be lying awake at 11 o'clock, able to just rifle through other people's crap endlessly. And once, and Robbie and I have talked about this, we should start a support group. Once the algorithm, once Vinted really gets to know you and it understands your style and the kind of... You're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. Because it's going to show you stuff every single day. It's like a personal shopper. It's like, hey, have you seen this fresh selection of stuff that I know you are going to absolutely love? You're just going to love it. And have to buy all of it. So tell me about the boots though, because I've seen the boots, but I do think you should describe them for everyone listening.
So they're like a textured sort of faux leather that looks like kind of croc.
Is it crocodile? It's like crocodile.
It looks like croc, yeah. Oh. And they're very pointy and they've got like a Cuban heel and they sort of point up in that way that a real Western boot does. And they've got a steel toe and they are just so cool.
Know how far up my street they are.
It's because I was like, can I really pair this with a sort of like, oh shit, I can't go into what I'm wearing.
Don't give too much away.
Basically, I feel like it works, and I'm very excited about it.
Definitely works. It definitely works that my wedding ensemble be inspiration, right? The Western boot finds a way.
Oh my god, the tangent we have been on.
No, but, well, talking of tangents, the last episode, I do have to say, obviously, it was so amazing for the three of us to sit down and have a conversation, but it was a neurodivergent choir.
It was. It really, really was. All over the place. Absolutely all over the place.
It literally took Kev, like, all week, which is why the episode was
my
also
God,
a little
bless
delayed.
him.
Thank you for your patience,
him.
you know, listeners. But yeah, he was at it all day, every day.
Oh my God, bless him. Should we have another one?
Let's have another one, yeah.
Okay, so the next one, this is when it does start to get a bit pretentious and perhaps into territory that Hannah might
Premature ejaculation. This is
so this is the band Martin Dupont with the song Inside Out. And this is a French cold wave project from the 80s. This song was actually released on my birth year, 1987. And it is just such a dreamy piece. It's this sort of very 80s kind of soundscape that takes you into this sort of dreamland where he sings about wanting to live his life inside out. And for me, like, it's obviously quite a sort of yearning sort of story of lost love. But for me, it just really speaks to the idea, like, growing up queer, of just longing for things to be different. So for me, this was just this one. I heard it really young, and it's been with me my whole life. And it just really speaks to this idea of wanting to be somewhere different, wanting to be somebody different, things to be different. But then as I grew older, this idea of wanting to live your life inside out, it kind of changed, and it became this idea of like living your truth on the outside. So it just completely like flipped on its head. But it's just one of those ones. It's so dreamy and perfect and surreal almost in its sound that it was just one that has just been with me forever. And there's been the odd time where somebody has played it on a dance floor and it's just been like, oh my God. It's just such a moment, I think, in like, not necessarily goth, but sort of like avant-garde music that I just could listen to it forever. This is what
I mean. You now sound like a serious person who is serious about music. And I'm like, Shania Twain makes me want to kick a door down.
Well, same, honestly. Like,
well, look, I am absolutely just going to go in there then with... I've never heard that song. You're going to have to send it to me. We're going to have to...
I will, yeah.
But I also, as we mentioned, chatting to Yasman, I know what happens when the music hits for you and you're in the smoke and the arms are going. So I'm assuming 80s avant-garde, there'd be a bit of an opportunity for that with this track. I kind of...
Definitely. It's very danceable, but the lyrics are very sort of detached. It's so hard to explain because it's such a dreamy mood that's created with this sort of like 80s synthy sound, but he's very detached, and you're sort of inserted into a dream where this person is obviously longing for this lost love, but it never meant that for me. It's just such a vibe. And it's also just, it's one of those songs that's so very chic. Like, it's very French.
Are you
it's very
smoking
chic.
while listening to it?
Yeah, 100% you're smoking. And it's one of those songs, like, I always thought if I was ever going to have a runway, it would have to be one of the songs that would be played as the models were walking, because it's so fashion. You know, also with the last name Dupont. Like, it's just so
Well, let's
punty.
manifest that.
Yes!
And we'll do it in Paris somewhere and near a bridge, and then it'll be near a pont. And you
Oh
can
my
have
God,
Dupont
yes.
on the pont.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm really sorry to any French speakers listening. Taking things a little bit more seriously then, and someone that I have wanted to have an opportunity to speak about
I
for
think
a long
I know.
time, but it does make me quite emotional.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make a t-shirt that says Sinead was right about everything. So for me,
She really was.
It's Sinead O'Connor. It has to be Nothing Compares. Obviously Nothing Compares was not written by Sinead O'Connor. It was her new arrangement of a song originally written by Prince. But I can't claim I'm cool enough to have been really into Sinead O'Connor and have listened to her, because I was only born in 1985, and so that kind of period of the early 90s was something that I missed out on. I just wasn't old enough. But obviously at that time I was living in rural Southern Ireland, and so especially as I've gotten older, the more that I have listened to Sinead O'Connor and the more I've learned about her as a person, and I should also say Shahada Sadakat, to use the name that Sinead would have preferred, having converted. That's her Muslim name. So it means to witness truth.
Gorgeous.
Right? To witness truth. Shahada Sadakat. And that for me, Sinead did just witness truth. And she didn't just bear witness. She was brave enough to raise the alarm, aware that with the platform she had, that there was responsibility. And I just think in terms of, the world we're living in now, the things that we are furious about, especially institutionally, Sinead was right about everything, and Sinead got it from that institution with both barrels. And just the most talented, the most creative, and it's so tragic to me that we lost her, in terms of, she was excited about touring and making music and being back in London, and it's I would have loved to have had her voice here right now.
You might not know this, but I have actually seen that song performed live, not by her, but by Prince. I saw Prince when I was pretty young.
Did you?
Yeah. I would say I'm lucky enough to have parents that are quite sort of like culturally interested, and they would take us to see shows, and my mum was taking me to art galleries very young, like very sort of artsy parents. And yeah, they took me to see Prince when I was probably like 13, 14 at the Millennium Dome, and
What a concert to go to at like 13 or
incredible.
14-year-olds old with your parents. Just no big deal.
It was incredible.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like his sort of purple light comes down.
Of course.
And then he's there, and he's about this big. It's just
was he? I think he was also a squiggle by that point.
A what?
The squiggle, when Prince was the artist formerly known as Prince and had become the logo.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was phenomenal. So I've seen it live, but yeah, unfortunately not performed by her, but it was incredible.
Sinead didn't like him. Apparently,
did she not?
They didn't meet prior to her recording her version. And apparently when they did meet, there was a weird incident with a pillow fight with things inside of pillowcases that would have been designed to hurt. So she was like a bit weirded out, but also very upset that he died, because I think she was kind of reflecting on the loneliness of fame.
Right.
Prince died of a fentanyl overdose.
Really?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Hey, tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, right? How many people did we lose because they were no longer prepared to toe the line?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, Sinead O'Connor, just, a visionary, really, and a phenomenal artist.
Obviously, the song that I walked down the aisle. There wasn't really an aisle.
Yeah. Well, that song will always be that moment for me, like it was such a beautiful
that's
day.
Also, why it's significant. It's significant to me because I chose that song for a reason, because of Sinead and how much she's missed, but also because it's a beautiful song that I can remember. I just remember watching the music video as well. Again, when I was younger, these iconic women that were there. The video of just this shot of her with the iconic shaved head, and the tears rolling down the face, and just like the intimacy of the video for Nothing Compares.
Yeah, it's stunning.
As well. Just the vulnerability, how stripped back,
and she's so beautiful in that as well, with the shaved head and the tears. It really is so very moving,
unbelievably beautiful. So I just, that definitely, when we say significant songs, Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to you.
So the next one is a bit of a wild card.
So
this, and I think highlights something quite funny about me. So this is the Shangri-La's Leader of the Pack. So one thing about me is I'm obsessed and have always been obsessed, weird niche interest, with the idea of the teen rebel. So it's like, if you think about like the 50s and the 60s,
I'm gonna
when
pop my
like sort
collar
of
for this.
the emergence of youth culture and this idea of,
Yes.
you know, for the first time, young people were like stepping away from, you know, the style of their parents. They had their own style. They were listening to rock and roll. And just this idea of like the sort of juvenile delinquents. So if you think about like in the film Female Trouble from John Waters, like the girls Chicklet and Concetta, who were like smoking in the girls' room with their beehives and their leather jackets, you know, and like just that vibe for me has always been like such a moment. And you know, like the leader of the pack is just, it's kind of like the quintessential teen tragedy. You know, like the guy that picks her up on the motorbike, and you know the parents hate him because he's, you know, in a motorbike gang and he ends up crashing the motorbike as a result. Obviously, you know, you look at the video and you're like, I don't really know what business that man had doing with that teenage girl, but you know,
Yeah.
another time. But just like sort of the way that it starts, and like the conversation between the girls where she's getting shtick at school and they're like, is she really going out with him? Well, there she is, let's ask her. It's like, Betty, is that Jimmy's ring you're wearing? It's just so cool. And you know, like obviously that beginning bit got sampled in The Damned New Rose, you know, like that, is she really going out with him? It's so cool. And they just look so good with like the beehive and the little mini skirts and stuff. Like that, for me, that like juvenile delinquents and just that time is just so like timeless and classic, you know?
Well, I mean, as you were talking, I was just thinking, well, it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It's just like, for me, when I think about that, like, you know, teenage rebellion, absolutely across all those different subcultures. But I guess all of those subcultures for us, especially in the UK, you know, mods and rockers, you know, but it all came from that kind of very 1950s R&B influenced rock and roll kind of. But yeah, the leather jackets, the hair, the eyeliner, the yeah, I'm totally with you. What a song as well.
Yeah, it's just such a song, and it takes you on such a story as well. It takes you to like where they met, to him being sort of like, you know, not accepted by the parents, and then he crashes the motorbike, and then you're back to that point at the beginning where, you know, they're asking why he's not picking her up. It's such a vibe.
There's also, for us, I think there's something to be said about storytelling in song that makes songs significant for us. So one that I didn't include on my list because I talked about it in the episode last week was Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue, Where the Wild Roses Grow.
Yeah.
Because in terms of significant songs, that was it for me, to the point that like that it was an awakening, a sexual awakening, I don't know what to call it, but the idea of kind of remembering sitting on the carpet, feeling the carpet underneath my hands, like the texture of it, but starting to think that the pattern was moving, because I felt so deeply kind of emotionally connected to the lighting in the video for that. You know,
just all of it. The snake moving through the water.
The romanticism,
you get
the
sort of like
drama.
Waterhouse nymph vibe.
Yeah, it's and also it's a murder ballad. It's a very traditional style of song, and it's storytelling. It's waiting for the next verse because you want to know what's going to happen next. And I think for me, that's always, you know, significant songs has always been that element of kind of story built in.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, you know, how that was a murder ballad and the leader of the pack is a tragedy. I mean, we don't really do tragedy anymore. Why don't we do tragedy anymore?
No.
Nobody wants to do tragedy anymore.
It's because everything's fucking tragic enough as it is, Tommy, isn't it? Absolutely tragic. I've got to laugh at this point, honestly. I think we are still very much at the point of just laughing in order to not remain batshit crazy, but also great news to hear that the last two activists that were being held by Israel.
Yes. Oh my God, waking up to that today.
Tiago and Saif are both now free, and I can only dread what they must have endured, truly, but incredibly brave, and surely we will continue to see flotillas until Gaza is free. So
Yeah, and I mean, not to mention the fact that Tiago's mother died in the meantime while he was.
I just cannot.
Yeah, can't imagine.
You know,
So having gone through that and then getting home to that news as well, it's just horrendous.
yeah, and it's important this, that we're allowed to want to have a podcast where we want to distract and we want to keep kind of the mood a little buoyant. We want to have things that we can laugh about, but we also have to remember that the reason that we're doing that is because there is a lot happening out there right now that none of us are okay with, and I don't want to normalize it. I think that it's been really noticeable online and on social media recently that the conversation is very quiet about especially what's continuing to happen with Israel bombing Lebanon and there being nearly 2,500 people that are dead there now. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
So not to completely bring the mood down, but just to remind myself, I guess, that we're still the luckiest ones.
No,
the
absolutely.
luckiest ones right now, and to just keep talking about Palestine. I'm sure Sinead would have had plenty to say.
Yeah.
And was very actually vocal and critical of Israel and the treatment of the Palestinian people as kind of an example of how and where we would all be in deep trouble if we didn't do something about it. So like I said, she really was right about everything.
Yeah, and as an Irish woman that knows a thing or two about that as well,
Oof. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
What you got next?
Honestly, this one is not very cool at all. I'm telling on myself so much today. Any track from the Les Miserables soundtrack.
My favourite reel of yours is you singing show tunes in the car. Like that was the best reel,
so basically this originates in childhood. This is because my mum used to listen to 3 different tape cassettes in the car. One of them was Dolly Parton, and the song 9 to 5 is on this list as a significant song for me. The other one was The Police, Sting, and the other one was the Les Miserables London soundtrack. I think Michael Ball was on there. But so as a kid, we're talking kind of 5-6 years old, I remember being sat in the back of the car and listening to the soundtrack from Les Miserables. I think for me, it's a very big and emotional soundtrack. It's got a lot of surging and swelling and different voices and obviously storytelling, which is, interesting to me. And it's about a revolution. It's about the point in French history that they said enough and they organised and they protested and they had a meaningful revolution. So even at that age, I was like, yes.
Like a bit of that.
Yeah, I love all this talk of people manning the barricades and, but it's also it's really poignant. It's also about the cost involved in meaningful revolution. But yeah, on my own, empty chairs and empty tables. Do you hear the people sing?
Singing the songs of angry men.
These are the voices of a people who will not be slaves again.
I was also quite into sort of musical theatre, but for me it was Little Shop of Horrors, and it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, it was so clear who I was going to be from so young. It was all there. I can remember my parents, as I said, very cultured people, being sort of like, do you think it's time that we show him the Rocky Horror Show? And just knowing that I was going to lose my mind.
I love that. I love that. Them growing up with you and your coming of age moment, them being like, it is time.
It's time. Yeah.
It's Frankenfurter.
Yeah. Yeah. Little Hobbit.
God, this explains so much.
And the Little Shop of Horrors as well.
Hasn't Jinx Monsoon done the Broadway version of that now?
She has.
Oh my God.
She has. And it's just the thing with the Little Shop of Horrors. It's like, you can picture like songs like Skid Row, where it's these 3 just stunning black women wearing these very like tight fitting, like 50s dresses. And it's just like the music is just outstanding. The imagery with this like, alien plant that's come to Earth to kill everyone.
I feel like, because when we say musicals, right, we're like, a bit of musical theatre. Not Glee, though.
No, not Glee.
Not Glee, because I feel like,
No.
no, something happened. So in the 80s, there was like Broadway, West End, Les Miserables, like you said, Rocky Horror, all that kind of. And then in the 90s, early 2000s, musical meant something different. And it
Yeah.
meant Glee. And it's all very kind of polished and all very not the kind of I do feel like there's a very different British theatre kid energy than there is to kind of American
Yeah.
theatre kid
Sort of
energy.
Oliver and
Is that fair? I don't know
yeah.
if that's fair.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I completely
You know, like love,
agree.
God, oh my God, Broadway, amazing, oh my God, but like the West End's got something slightly, I don't know, slightly more. I don't want to say edgy, but a little raw, I guess. But
Oh yeah. No, definitely, definitely.
but that idea of big shows where they went on tour and there was T-shirts and a tape cassette and it was very kind of 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I can remember. I think it was my dad's 40th. We went to see Oliver.
Yeah.
On stage in London, and it was just
I
obviously
remember
phenomenal.
having the film on tape cassette, like on
Yeah, I had it.
VHS, and being able to sing all of the songs from Oliver because we had it on video. So so significant for me, any song from Les Mis because I can sing along unprompted. I know every single word. Nothing will fail to get me misty-eyed or revved up and ready to kind of, like I said, lead a revolution like the soundtrack to Les Mis. So
I get it. So my next one is actually by a friend of mine. So this is a song by my friend Alison, who has the project Zanias, and it's called Ashes. And this one, I mean, it's about Palestine. And the thing is, I think I have, as I've mentioned before, been so sort of disappointed with so many people in my community. And Alison is somebody that has been outspoken from the beginning of the genocide. This song actually went on a compilation which was called Goths for Palestine, where they raised money. This song, I am a person that when I'm processing something, I listen to a lot of music that helps me with that. This song I have listened to so many times in my studio while I have been processing the atrocities that we've been seeing. And I just want to, if I can get through this without crying, read you some of the lyrics to this incredible song, because it is so beautifully written. And I think good art makes you feel something and it makes you see things differently. And I feel like this song perhaps helped me reach the place that I am. Fucking hell.
you got
I'm not
this,
gonna
babe.
look at
You got
you.
this.
I feel a fistful of ashes in my hands. The screen will shine its light upon your face. As the world reveals its darkest ways, how can you stay faithful? No one's coming. Time to step up to the plate. How can it be human fingers on the triggers? Flesh and bone made by mothers with skin that shivers, just like the ashes. Yeah, and I mean it. Her voice, the production of the song is just absolutely phenomenal, and it's one I think certainly in the past couple of years that has touched me the most.
Yeah, another shout out for a friend of the pod.
Yeah,
Did we
exactly.
Did we meet in your Italian?
Yes, you did.
Remember
Yeah,
I read some Taro that time.
yeah.
Berlin.
Yeah. She's had all sorts of problems with festivals not wanting to book her because she's on stage with her kefir.
I am so sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I am so. We are beyond. Do you know what is so fucking depressing? Is having all of these apps and platforms remind you of what you were doing this time last year. And it's people wearing kefirs and protesting for Palestine, and we are like another year now, 2026, and there is no ceasefire. Let's get it correct.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
How are we? I am not okay. They held the Palestinian marathon. They had to put it on pause, obviously, for 2 years, and then defiantly, as defiant as they are, as example to us all, they were like, time to bring back the Palestine Marathon. And people went and ran in it and raised money, and it was amazing. But who are we as a society, and where are we as humanity when we watch footage of a marathon that is largely being participated in by people on crutches because they are now missing limbs. People running with their friends in their wheelchairs, or men giving it everything they've got on their crutches where they've lost legs. Watching a marathon run by predominantly amputees should sicken everyone to their stomach. I'm just so sick of it, and I'm so sick of artists, like you said, who are doing what artists are supposed to do, which is make art. Who are speaking for something, who are saying something, having these opportunities taken away from them. You know, not being able to attend award shows in England from Ireland because you've been deemed to be anti-Semitic. Yeah. You know, Sally Rooney.
No, absolutely.
I
absolutely.
cannot.
She's playing Viggy T this year, and I'm just praying that it's not at the time that I've got any kind of obligation, because I'm just dying to see her.
And you and the whole of Berlin, there'll be so many homegrown supporters there as well.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's really good to see Viggy T obviously making sure that those voices are being correctly respected and platformed. But it's like that group you mentioned, Goths Against Cancel Culture.
Fuck off.
Who are a group that I think have directly had something to say about that track, and
they have featured her on there,
go,
and she made a reel in reaction to what they said in an extremely funny voice. So her clapback was perfect, but she's been featured on Goths Against Cancel Culture,
and proud to be featured.
Exactly.
Featured there, and it's really tough, I think, because like we were kind of talking about a little bit last time. We've for a long time talking about our scenes and community and the importance of discourse and dialogue, and more and more these days I do think people are just going to be like, no, fuck off. I think like new lines have been drawn in terms of what preservation and protection are going to look like as well, in the fact that you're just not a safe person. If you cannot say I condemn Israel with my entire chest, I don't want to breathe the same air as you, let alone watch music with you or eat in a restaurant with you, or I literally don't want you anywhere within my physical proximity because you are an unsafe person. And it's got to be allowed for us to say that. It's really tough with ACAB and not wanting to be cops in our own communities, but also fuck Zionists.
That's it. No, 100%.
100%. We love a tangent on this podcast, but again, not the only ones still walking with this. Thank God. It only proves that we're still whole and still human, and it does fucking hurt. And I'm
very proud of a lot of my friends. I'll say that.
Yeah. Is it me?
It's you.
This one's quite emo for me, actually.
Yeah,
so, Against Me have a song called Thrash Unreal. And it's a song that I listened to a lot before and after I got sober. And the chorus essentially is, no mother ever dreams that her daughter will grow up to be a junkie. No mother ever dreams that her daughter will grow up and die alone. And again, storytelling. It's the amazing Laura Jane Grace kind of talking about what it's like to kind of age out in your scene, right? And to also be dealing with addiction issues and substance abuse issues. There's not a line she can use to still convince the boys that she's in her 20s. But also it's a song that's got a whole other layer to it when you understand Laura's journey as a trans person. Fronting a band as big in the kind of punk scene as Against Me and coming out as trans and being Laura was just writing a record called Trans Dysphoria Blues. It's just, for me, in terms of significance, I was just kind of like a piss and vinegar punk rock kid that loved Against Me. Loved that they were politically oriented, but they were also just kind of drink beers and have fun. It was, such a great band, and then such poignant and meaningful music coming from Laura Jane Grace, and then Thrash Unreal, especially just being that time in Berlin, living in that flat, the one. Still, just really relating to this song that's they don't understand anything about redemption. They don't understand recovery.
God, yeah, I remember
There's a lyric in that.
I can remember you playing that in that flat.
Yeah, and it's about how hard it is and how lonely it is, I think, to get to a point where, you don't want to be on the dance floor guts spilled out on the floor, you know. But you also don't know anything different, and that you understand that this is also something that's kind of, it's a part of you, it's a part of your persona, it's been a part of your identity, it's just an integral part of punk rock. So how do you put it down and leave it behind, with, you know, and not become the sad drunk still propping up the bar in an empty room, you know? So yeah, that one for me.
Well, those realizations are painful, aren't they? Because it's like, but who am I without being that person? You know, what is there of me when I'm not that person? Like, I can remember getting sober and being like, well, how are you going to be funny? How are people going to relate to you? Like, you don't have that without all of that, you know? Like, that's genuinely how I felt.
Exactly, you know, especially with, you know, punk rock being very synonymous with that kind of self-destructive behavior, especially, you know, having artists that were getting older as well, and also writing songs about the point where that just isn't working for you anymore, that you don't want to become some throwback. You know, so yeah, for me, definitely, and anything that Laura Jane Grace does.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's
an icon, yeah.
everyone is flawed and fallible, and I know she's been having some difficulty in her personal life lately, and gets a lot of criticism on Instagram, and who fucking cares, honestly? Like, someone who is brave enough, having fronted one of those bands, you know, in that scene at that time, to be like, and I'm trans, and you call me Laura Jane, and if you don't like it, fuck you. And then to write music and to make music for other kids who had that dysphoria growing up in those scenes, other queer kids in what is essentially kind of a very straight mask, you know, hardcore show, let's go kind of energy.
Having sort of been around those spaces to some extent, the idea of sort of coming out as, you know, a trans woman in that scene at that time, I can't imagine.
No, but just an incredible songwriter, someone whose music has resonated with me for like decades, but Thrash Unreal by Against Me.
Gorgeous.
Will always hit. And I think
Gorgeous.
it's so weird for us as well, with the experience of sobriety and recovery, of songs that hit in a certain way at one time in your life that now hit in a completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Like I was saying before about that song Inside Out, like, it used to mean about wanting to be somewhere else and be somebody different, and then it became sort of living your truth on the outside, like, in a completely different way, you know? Like, there are songs that will just be with us for our whole lives, and they change meaning over the years.
Oh, it's so magic. I love it. Have you got any more on your list?
I've got one left, I think.
Oh my god, I've got so many. I have so many. I literally
no, I did 5.
Yeah,
I did
good.
5.
Okay.
But it was really hard. So this last one, I'm definitely not winning the aux cable because everything's so depressing. So this is.
Mine's also slightly manic and insane. So we're going from Shania Twain into Les Miserables. I don't know whether I'm going to be winning any time either. You certainly wouldn't want me to DJ your fucking wedding, would you?
You definitely wouldn't want me DJing it. Fucking hell. Your funeral, maybe.
Should we do that? Should
one.
we set up a business? Another one, Tommy. Should we start another business?
I'll be your goth DJ at your funeral.
People can pick us to do a eulogy and then DJ the after party. Do funerals have an after party?
We'll put the fun in funeral, babe.
We'll put the fuck you in funeral. Make sure you actually get the service that you would have wanted.
So the next one is Faith by The Cure. So again...
Oh, I knew The Cure was in there. Honestly, Kev and I were just trying to guess which song.
It had to be. I mean, here's the thing. With The Cure, this is not my favourite Cure song. For me, the sort of scriptures and, like, you know, my favourite albums would be Disintegration and Pornography. Faith is on the album Faith. It's the title track. This one, for me, has just been sort of very poignant because it talks about grappling with losing faith, getting it back, losing faith. And he wrote it when his grandmother died, obviously in the throes of, like, quite very difficult loss for him. And for me, it really makes me think of sort of like my second spiritual awakening, because there was the big one I had when I got sober. And then there was the second one, which happened around the time of October 7th, like shortly after that, where I sort of realized that I wasn't the only person in the world, and there were all these horrendous things going on. And I grappled so much with faith around that time, because I am somebody that is spiritual and, like, has various different gods that I look to and speak to. And this was a time for me where that was kind of waning and going away. I rediscovered it again in a different way, but this song where he is sort of wailing with nothing left but faith over and over again. And I feel like I moved through a lot of things with that song. It's definitely one of his bleakest, but it is such a beautiful song. So yeah, The Cure, Faith. Not my favorite album, not my favorite song, but definitely did something at a time where I needed it,
I love it, and I can obviously so relate, that I can, and I know that there's people listening that can as well, which is why we started a podcast, right? The complete crisis of faith, the spirituality that we had and the tools that we were using just not cutting it, right? The up my meds of it all the last few years, so, but I've said it before, I think, for me, I had it explained to me that faith is the howling and the wondering and the not knowing and the continuing to put one foot in front of the other anyway. It's in the tarot, it's the tower into the star. It's that whole idea of this is absolutely terrible, but it's my faith that allows me to embrace the reality of where I'm at.
And there is no faith without doubt as well, which is something that just took me so long to understand,
Oof.
Yeah, so bloody hell, like, made it depressing.
There,
of course, I mean, that was one of those shows where I was just absolutely blobbing. It was just phenomenal. And, he is somebody that has been doing this for so long, and he still has that voice like he did back then. It just cuts through you. It just so beautiful. Like, such a songwriter, such a voice, like, incredible.
Just the outsider's outsider forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few others on my list I'll share with you as significant.
Please.
Mine, like I said, weren't as organised as yours today. It's been a lot this week. A special mention for Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Right? Oh, yeah? Bon
well, here's the thing. It's that wow, right? Like, there's two ways to summon me to a dance floor generally. It is, of course, Danzig's Mother.
I mean,
which is a very significant song for me. I'm into the Misfits. I was really into horror punk. I absolutely love Danzig. That. I've got the Danzig skull tattooed right across the front of my stomach.
Yeah.
Shit.
He just needs to stay very quiet.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it on here before, how Danzig needs to just perhaps shuffle off the mortal coil. But the only other song to summon me with other than Mother by Danzig would be Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. It's just that I just spent so long being drunk and screaming that there's no way that is not a significant song for me, right?
Yeah.
Whoa! It's got woes, so many woes, which was
so is the Misfits. If you like woes, then you're gonna like Misfits.
Well, look, woes were about 30% of my personality through my entire 20s. If there weren't woes, I was going home. Like, that is my musical taste, basically.
That
and Les Miserables and show tunes from the 80s, apparently, according to today. Journey, Don't Stop Believing. I've got DSB tattooed on one of my wrists.
Don't
Stop Believing, right? And it really was, again, just one of those songs, one of those moments.
My journey.
On my journey with Journey. Zombie by the Cranberries.
Yeah.
That's never going to not make me feel something, and that's also one that you will find me screaming in the karaoke booth. What else did I've mentioned Dolly Parton. Brody Dahl, because Brody Dahl follows me on Instagram, and I needed a moment to talk about it.
Does she? Oh my god.
So when I was growing up, I listened to a band called The Distillers. And the Sing Sing Death House by The Distillers. Like, I hadn't seen women in punk on my timeline, right? Like class of 2012, and Brody Dahl, the Australian with the badass mohawk and the studded belts and the voice that sounded like gravel in a blender. And they were good. The Distillers were a really good band, and then obviously they were signed to Hellcat Records, and she was with Tim Armstrong, who was from Rancid, and then like but I was in a band called the Hellcats, that did Hellcat Records covers. So, and I was supposed to sing the Distillers song, so I started smoking Marlboro Red cigarettes.
Yeah, you got to.
To try and get the voice. But when Brody followed me on Instagram, I screamed and cried and nearly threw up.
It's amazing. I can remember one of the grungers at school lending me one of the Distillers albums, the white and red one, you know, where she's bleeding from the side. Yeah, that was a fucking phenomenal album. And I mean, just such a voice, like such a gravelly voice. And she was so gorgeous as well.
Stunning. Just absolutely posters of you on my bedroom wall when I was younger.
Yeah.
Brody, and asking the question, of course, forever now, did I want to be you or did I want to be on you?
Yeah.
So...
I think a lot of the girls at the sort of grunger girls at school were asking that question. I think she was sort of the ultimate woman crush, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, I think there was a lot of almost playing with gender in the punk scene at that time. You know, like people like Brody being very masculine and bringing masculine energy with real confidence, and or that still being like hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
And then obviously people like Davey Havoc in bands like AFI being much more effeminate, and all of a sudden having front men or people identifying as cis men with eyeliner and pink hair dye, and you know, so I think that's always been something that was interesting to me. Playing with identity has always been like a big deal in both of the scenes of the subcultures that we grew up in.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Brody Dahl and the Distillers, and obviously because it brings us full circle, it has to be, Tommy, Think Twice by Celine Dion.
Oh my god. Yeah, how did I not think of that?
Songs that are significant to me, anything by Celine Dion, because when I first met Tommy Valls, we used to hang out in his bedroom, where he would be working on very, very early pieces for the brand with a mouthful of pins, as I remember. Pins fucking everywhere. We'd both be smoking, chain smoking cigarettes. I was learning to read tarot, so I was reading Michelle T's book to you while pulling cards. And we would just put on Celine Dion and lip sync like our lives depended on it.
Yeah, so it was that one, and It's All Coming Back to Me Now, which obviously is just so iconic. It's another story of a woman losing a man that's on a motorbike. Yeah. And, you know, like the music video where she's just like wearing a negligee, and is like, there's like a four-poster bed, and there's the wind coming through the window, and he's appearing as a ghost on the motorbike. It's just so ridiculous. And actually, when I met Robbie, he had the words "endless pleasures" on the fridge from that song. Like, there were nights of endless pleasures. He had it on the fridge. Yeah.
I have to say that I do think that it was a real bonding experience for us. Our mutual
it was
lip syncing Celine Dion. Like
it was.
What's the one with the? I just love, by the way, that when it comes to your niche, we have now determined it is songs about women mourning or longing men who've died on motorcycles. It's very niche. You're so right. The niche within the niche. I'm goth. Right, but you give me...
I like a tragedy about motorbike.
Yeah, if you give me tragedy and there's a motorbike involved, honestly...
Teenage rebellion, yeah. Very specific. Very specific.
Well, talking Teenage Rebellion, I will wrap it up. Like I said, I found this task very difficult. I have to obviously mention My Chemical Romance. I can't be early 2000s emo and not mention My Chemical Romance and how they did become one of the biggest bands in the world. And they did create the military jacket in emo.
I mean, the red eye makeup as well.
Iconic.
Which became such a moment. For me, I mean, I was never really a huge fan of My Chemical Romance, but the song, The Ghost of You, The Ghost of Me, that one, that is like a stunning song.
Ironically, though, the song that I was going to mention as my significant song now would actually be Teenagers.
Oh yeah.
And I find it really funny that when I was a teenager, listening to My Chemical Romance singing about how teenagers scared the living shit out of them, I couldn't possibly understood what they meant, because my friends were holding vegan bake sales and organising shows. I was like, why? But now, completely understand it. I have become one of those people who's inherently distrustful of groups of youths. So we love Teenage Rebellion and have very much built ourselves and our lives around it. But these days, I don't know. I don't trust him.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I like a very specific type of Teenage Rebellion, as I mentioned before.
Yes, yeah, it's a certain type of aesthetic in your Teenage Rebellion, because the kind of grey sweatpants that haven't seen a washing machine for 2 weeks because you've been in your bedroom playing Xbox and doing God knows fucking what. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that teenager, not that smells vaguely of what's-it, threatens you on the bus, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Am I just that old now?
Although I have to say, I mean, we're about to get sort of Viggy glamour, but this past 2 months, I've very much been wearing sweatpants and smelling like...
Oh, no disrespect to the sweatpants. Look, here's the thing. This is probably classism on display now, as well as ageism. I've just, I'm letting it all hang out. I would love to run into a gang of teenagers wearing leather jackets with immaculate flicky eyeliner and that carry knives and hate the cops. Like, I think we could do with more... I don't see them, Tommy. I don't.
I have memories of being 18 years old and going to see the Cramps at the Astoria.
This is what I'm talking about.
And just, being drunk on cider, wearing a black leather jacket with white tight bondage trousers and creepers, and just being like, I'm the coolest person in the world, because in that moment I was.
And we might have just got to that point in life where younger people would look at pictures of us then and be like, what the fuck were you wearing?
What are you wearing? Yeah.
But I'm just wondering what are the scenes? What are the subcultures? We need to talk to some young people.
Yeah. I'm genuinely very interested, and I don't know much about what's going on there. I'm very much stuck in the past.
No, that's what I mean. That's why it's so funny that I'm like, oh man, My Chemical Romance teenagers. Who's afraid of teenagers? And I'm now listening to them at 40 and being like me, as it turns out. Teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, look, I haven't got any others to share, although I have thousands of them. I think if I wanted to write, the book of significant songs, I could do.
Yeah, for me, I sort of had all sorts of, realizations when meditating and listening to bands like Coil and all sorts of stuff like that, but I just felt like I might lose people with that.
Yeah. No, I don't think you would. I think
what we've sort of might have gleaned from this episode is that I'm very dark and very pretentious. Can't help it.
I just kind of like that though for you. Maybe it's a bit of branding now. Tommy Val's dark and pretentious. I think if anybody from the outside were to describe goth though as a music genre, dark and pretentious isn't
pretty much
completely missing the mark.
No, it isn't. I mean, the thing is that there's so much to it, like we're talking about a band like Coil that's very experimental and you wouldn't necessarily want to dance to it in a club, but there's plenty of goth bangers, that people would go completely mental to in a club, and those meant so much to me at the time. I don't necessarily connect in the same way because I never go out or do anything anymore.
No, yeah. That's not true, meet and greet. You're going to be doing all sorts.
This will be the last time,
waving your arms around. The last time I'm ever going to be seen in public.
Probably.
Bless you. Well, look, we so hope you've enjoyed listening to us just talking about songs that are significant or have been significant to us. And I want to thank Anna Marie, another new Patreon sign-up. Paid, contributing, helping to keep us going, and it does really matter, especially as I said for poor Kev, who is spending days of his life now editing this for us. So we'd also absolutely love to hear your significant songs. Do you have a song? Is there a story? Share it with us. Stick it in the comments on the Patreon.
I'm looking forward to seeing the way the Ox Cable battle will be skewed. I think that the one vote that I'm going to get is going to be from Paige. I think that's going to be it. I think Paige will vote for me. By the way, Paige, your belt is ready and is going to be shipping tomorrow. I'm very sorry that it's so late. I am throwing in a little extra for you to apologise for that, babes. It's just been very busy.
Oh, the NYC. Don't you love that Paige knows Viva and hangs out with Viva?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love all those connections.
Friends of the pod. Well, that's it from us. We hope that you are hanging in there. We know that things are all still pretty horrible. But we have to focus on what it is that makes us laugh as a form of rebellion right now. And we have to look after ourselves and not punch the fuck it button or completely self-destruct. So do hang in there with us. Anything you got to add or share?
I don't think so. What are you up to today?
I'm going thrifting.
Oh, that's nice. Is there anything that you need or are looking for?
No, obviously not. When does anyone ever go thrifting because there's something that they need or that they're actually looking for? That's not how the thrift gods work. You have to make petitions, and at such point as they see fit to reward you, you might find something. No, it's because I'm addicted to Vinted. It's because of the Vinted addiction and the fact it's got so out of hand that I've now got to go and find stuff to sell. Robbie will understand this, right? You do this thing where you're like,
absolutely.
okay, the Vinted thing is getting a bit much, but I'll balance it out by selling things on Vinted. Because that way, it's, it comes in, it goes out, and I'm not really spending that much money. But then you get to the point where you've sold everything that you own. Twice. So now I'm actually having to go out and find things to sell.
Right.
So I'm going to do a bit of that today. But you know me,
Oh,
it's
that
my
sounds
favorite.
fab.
It's my favorite way of dissociating. Iced coffee in a thrift store.
Gorgeous. Love it.
Yeah.
Fab.
So, what about you? You're working, I bet.
I'm working, but Jessamy's two besties are in town for Wave Gothic Treffen. So I get to meet them tonight. These two very glamorous people. I'm very much looking forward to that. So we were going out for dinner tonight, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
So at this point, Wave Gothic Treffen, in just 10 days, it's you, Yasaman, Jasmine, Jasmine's friends, Rose.
Yeah.
You're
Tons of people are going.
fabulous-
It's going to be great.
Fabulous time.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
Very overwhelmed by the idea, but
Yeah,
we'll get there.
I was going to say this. Do we need to take a little break? Should we have a little pause, seeing as we've just moved into season 2?
Oh, I think that could probably be good, just because I think it's probably going to be a little bit tight for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, look, we'll talk about it. I just wanted to let people know now, if you're listening, now's a great time to maybe catch up on some of our previous episodes, especially if you're new and wanted to know a little bit more about us. But we can absolutely think about maybe having a little break, Tommy.
Yeah, I agree. Just a couple of weeks maybe, but just so that I can get VGT done, and then
then we'll do the episode where we hear all about
debrief.
it, and we have the debrief. Well, I think that is it for today then. We just want to thank you so much for listening. Again, if for contributing via the Patreon, we do so appreciate it. This is very much a labour of love. But you can also click like and subscribe on the YouTube, where we are now putting video content. We're also working to get that video content in Patreon for you ASAP. It has been a real learning curve, but don't let the bastards grind you down. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye.